Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 10 o'clock news on KPAX, Montana's news leader.
Good evening, I'm Jill Valley.
And I'm Dennis Bragg. Another potent weather system is moving in. Advisories and warnings cover all of western Montana, with the exception of the Missoula and Bitterroot valleys.
The most snowfall is expected in northwest Montana. Now, for the latest on just how much snow and rain we're going to see and the travel impacts going into the weekend, let's check with Chief Meteorologist Aaron Yost in the Storm Tracker Weather Center. Aaron.
You know, things are going to be a mess throughout the day on Thursday, especially for the northwest quarter of the state and those along the divide, as far as a snowy mess and then a sloppy mess for the Missoula and Bitterroot valleys likely. We will see precipitation types changing, at least fluctuating, for folks in west central Montana throughout much of this event. Right now, we're starting to see our current system slowly move on out of the area, but we already have this next round of winter weather highlights issued for this bigger system. They're from Thursday morning into Friday morning. Valleys here shaded in purple, looking at anywhere from 3 to 8 inches. It is very likely that areas closer to the divide will even see more than that. And then a little bit more troublesome winter storm warnings also in the mix. I've got the full update on the way.
Thank you, Aaron. The Flathead Avalanche Center is again warning of avalanche danger in wake of projected snow and rain coming in. The decision was made Tuesday night to the Swan, Whitefish, and Flathead range. They're all still currently under considerable avalanche danger. Wednesday at elevations above 6,000 feet. One person was killed in an avalanche near Fernie, British Columbia, just north of the border on Monday. That's about 60 miles north of the Whitefish Range. The Flathead Avalanche Center is most concerned about the northern part of the Whitefish Range that currently has the shallowest snowpack in the region this year. The center is saying that the most active areas have been slopes with less than 4 feet of depth, with those weak layers of snow that have gotten worse during this recent warming temperatures we've been having. They're also suggesting if you do venture in the backcountry to stick to more conservative terrain and avoid steep slopes.
City street crews are continuing their work to clear city streets and drainage areas of snow berms out there. The mild temperatures following the 2 big snow events over the last couple of weeks have led to a lot of water ponding on roads, leaving drainage areas susceptible to overflow. With an estimated 7,000 drains in Missoula, the city has a priority list based on those areas where the biggest and most frequent flooding issues have popped up in the past. City Street Superintendent Brian Hensel says they'll continue to address problems as they come up.
So when it's warm like this, our priority snow plowing, we're in pretty good shape. We'll try to respond to requests for other plowing as we can. But right now, this is our primary focus while the weather stays warm and things continue to melt.
He also adds he appreciates those people who have been pitching in to clear berms and drains to alleviate any flooding concerns. To keep an eye on the changing conditions we're going to see over the next few days in western Montana, download the KPAX Storm Tracker weather app to get on-the-go forecast from our Storm Tracker weather team. It's always free in the Google Play or the App Store.
New at 10 tonight, Missoula Children's Museum remains closed after testing that the air quality inside was unhealthy.
The facility that sits above a private cigar club is waiting further testing to determine if the poor air quality is coming from the tobacco. MTN's Kent Lutzen spoke with the museum director about this ongoing issue.
First and foremost, no one should walk into a public space and be affronted by tobacco odor in 2018. That's unacceptable and it's untenable. We have to find the source of this, and logic will tell us one thing, but data is going to tell us another.
Museum patrons began sending complaints of tobacco smell to the Missoula City County Health Department, which in return led to the health board filing a lawsuit against the Fool's End Cigar Club. The Children's Museum has elected to stay closed since the beginning of December due to the possibilities of poor air quality. Robert said with roughly 2,000 visitors a month, it's been hard to find other locations to host events, and it's been tough economically.
Revenue streams have been challenged, and so has our operations at large. We do have family education and curricular workshops that we lead that can still happen, but they have to happen off-site. So it's a real challenging logistical circumstance right now, but the reality is until we fully understand what the source of the problem is and how to permanently solve it, we're not going to let guests back in here.
As for now, Roberts is hoping the tobacco-specific tests will bring a conclusion to this problem.
We just want to get back to a safe space, a healthy space, something that we have confidence in and the public can, without any doubt or concern, come and spend their money and invite their families and their babies to crawl around on our floor without any worry.
Kent Lutzen, MTN News, Missoula.
We reached out to the Missoula City County Health Department, but they were unable to respond because they are currently in litigation with the Cigar Club.
After a last-minute effort, there's no deal to save the historic Lockridge Medical Clinic building in Whitefish, a building designed by Frank Lloyd Wright. It's set now to come down. In a release put out by the Frank Lloyd Wright Building Conservancy, they said that negotiations failed, in which a full price of $1.7 million offer was submitted to the building owner on Monday. 341 Central LLC of those owners. Disagreements over the security deposit and concerns over the building's current condition led the deal to fall through before today's deadline set by the seller. Now, the Conservancy says the owner's plans to demolish the building first surfaced more than a year ago. Organizations including the Montana Preservation Alliance and the Frank Lloyd Wright Building Conservancy have been working to put a deal in place for more than a year. If demolition is completed, the building, which is on the National Register of Historic Places, will become the first viable Wright-designed building to be demolished in more than 40 years. Big Arm residents are now without a working post office after a fire started inside that building late last night.
MTN's Nicole Miller spent the day on the scene and tells us if the building is repairable and how people are supposed to get their mail in the meantime.
If you're a customer of the post office in Big Arm, you could see a delay in your mail services after the post office caught fire Tuesday night. Polson Rural Fire District Chief Gordon Geezer says no one was inside at the time and no one was hurt.
I would say we probably had 25 firefighters here.
Geezer says the call came in around 11 p.m., a report of smoke.
Upon arrival, the first engine's report was that they had smoke showing at the front of the building and smoke showing along the roof line.
Polson Rural Fire, Chief Cliff Fire, and Polson City Fire responded.
This was an interior attack, and the fire was held to the area of origin inside the building.
Geezer says it took about 30 minutes to contain the fire, and within 60, they had it knocked out. The exact cause of this fire is unknown, and the investigation is in the preliminary stages.
Since this is a post office and a leased federal facility with a fire of undetermined cause in the building, the State Fire Marshal's office is contacted, and they're currently on scene here with us, assisting in an investigation of the cause.
Geezer estimates the damage at about $40,000. Until the building is repaired, customers will need to use the Elmo post office for mail pickup and delivery. Nicole Miller, MTN News, Polson.
Now, the Big Arm Post Office serves about 250 customers. It has about 100 P.O. boxes. Mail, delivery, retail services, and P.O. distribution is going to be handled out of Elmo until further notice. And if you have any questions, you can call the Elmo Post Office. That number, 883-2088.
He's a little bit country and a little bit rock and roll. When he gets time, he wants to be a better fisherman. But for now, new University of Montana President Seth Bodnar is passionately focused on hitting the ground running. I spent time with Bodnar this week learning of his love of Missoula, and the challenges of learning in the modern world.
This is a great university that provides exactly the type of education that I believe students need to be successful in the world that they're entering, the world that I've lived in for the past 2 decades, in the government, in the military, in business. And this is a university that is very well suited to meet the needs of those students, to succeed not just in their job, but in their life.
Sit down with Seth Bodnar for a few minutes and you'll catch his enthusiasm for the future. He doesn't complain about rapid change. He embraces it and sees as a model for innovation and excellence, a school applying strengths to the greatest opportunities, trying new research to solve problems. He uses water scarcity as an example, saying has the interdisciplinary tools to tackle a question from the biological, the ethical, and legal.
While the mission will drive us, of our students, we also have thousands of people that come to work here at the University of Montana every single day. And how do we make this not only a great place to work, but a place where every single one of our employees can reach their full potential?
Bodnar comes onto a campus that's had rough times as its 125th birthday approaches. I ask him how he'll tackle that general grouchiness.
Every organization goes through change and maybe some tougher times. But I would tell you the ground truth is that this place is full of high-energy students, incredibly talented, hard-working faculty members, and it's a privilege for me to be here. I see my job as how do I do everything I can to make not just our students successful, but our faculty, our staff, every single employee successful here. Because people are really positive about this place. This is a great institution that has changed the lives of literally hundreds of thousands of Montanans and young people from around the country, and we're gonna continue to focus on that great work.
And I had to ask about his favorite artist to see if he fits Missoula's eclectic playlist.
Garth Brooks, I'm a big Garth Brooks fan. Some of the newer stuff is a lot of fun. I love Zac Brown Band. I really enjoy Bruce Springsteen. But I love the outdoors. I love working out. I love hunting, fishing. I'm looking forward to honing those latter two skills when I get some time. But I'm not sure when that's going to happen. But it's just to be in a place that we love, at an institution that is so impactful, and just the beautiful surroundings in which we get to work. It's an incredible privilege.
Bodnar also says in a time of significant division in this country, UM can be the kind of place where free, informed, respectful exchange of ideas can happen.
Well, still ahead, Aaron is tracking the next system that's moving into our region that is expected to bring some pretty hefty snowfall to northwest Montana.
Plus, it's already time to talk politics. Candidates begin filing a run for office this week. Up next, we'll take a look at races in Ravalli and Missoula counties. Coming up on KPAX.